Hello everyone, I'm Lisa Wind, I've just blown in. And today we are back with more Seduce Me the Anime, the Demon Wars. Last time, I didn't die in the place where I did the first time I did this Mathew's run-through. Yay! We're going to be picking right back up where we left off, realizing just how screwed we are. Okay, let's get into it, shall we? Oh yeah, and I might have sent my trainer off to go find a flower to prove his love for Diana. Go us! We're supportive in this verse. Anyway. I only hoped you'd do it on your own. You broke his control over you, not me. I call shenanigans. I, bare minimum, helped. We chuckled for each other, slowly standing and happy to be in each other's arms at last. James, however, stepped forward with a frown, causing Mathew to release me. Gosh darn it, James, stop it.
Mathew, I apologize for not being a proper brother for you and treating you with the respect you deserve.
Aww.
I would never want you to not trust me or the others.
Aww, character development. Also, a freaking war on guys. Maybe we can save this till, after. In agreement, the other brother stepped up and nodded, ashamed as well. Mathew stared at all of them in shock before kissing my cheek and stepping towards them.
Hey. You're my brothers.
Aww.
We're supposed to support and protect each other, right?
Exactly. If you have a good family. All five of them smiled at each other as I felt myself needing to rest once more. I held the wall slightly, maintaining my balance as I shook my head and looked up at the brothers, seeing them happily rekindle the brotherly love they had before. Aww, yay, we're building bridges. I looked to the wives, winking, before sneaking out. Mathew needed some time with his brothers, to settle some differences. I would wait for him in the room. Oh, come on, wives, let's go party in my room. Who wants to get drunk? I think we deserve it. I began to head back to my room, ready for what was going to happen tomorrow. Everything would be decided then. Yay, we actually have it tomorrow. We didn't last time.
You cruel, selfish bastard!
What now? A shout, however, interrupted my journey to my room. I froze in place before turning my head toward the door that was barely open a small crack. It was the door leading to the Grand Hall, Saero's training room. Oh, I think Queen just discovered her guard kinda went on a personal quest. Why was Diana there, though? Who was she yelling at? Let's see, shall we? I peeked inside to see Diana glaring to the darkness with her arms crossed, tightly over her chest. As I squinted, trying to see what she was glaring at, I silently gasped. Gasp. Saero. Aww, he's back. Yay! Saero was kneeling in the dark before his mistress. Should I leave? His head bowed low in shame. When did he return? More than that, why was he keeping his head down? Was he not successful in his mission? Oh. I mean, I got a happy ending. I kind of want him to have one too in this verse. I blame the optimism, really.
Where in the 7 planes of hell have you been, Saero?
Whoa, Dee, calm down.
My lady,
Let him speak, girl. Calm down.
You left the castle with no notification or warning.
Well...
And you activated your damn holy magic to deny me the right to summon you to my side. How dare you!
Okay, this is why I keep pointing out there is a freaking war on. This personal quest stuff should be shelved till after. I get why he couldn't, but this is where communication should have really come in. Let's hope we can fix this for these two crazy kids.
if you would let me...
Yeah, girl, let him speak. Shush.
And now you suddenly waltz back into the castle with a smile on your face as if you had gone out and killed the demon lord himself. Explain yourself!
Well, girl, maybe if you stop talking and let him... Let's be honest, maybe if you stop yelling and let him... Staring at Diana, I could see her face burning as red with rage. Her cheeks, however, were glistening as rogue tears ran down them. Saero kept his head down, but continued to plead with Diana.
My lady, I was on a personal quest. I had to retrieve something I believed to be important, and it was incredibly selfish of me to do so. I'm sorry, but I needed to complete this task before we went into battle.
Okay, good start. Keep going. Please, Diana, let him finish.
You placed this quest over your duty to me?
Well, they're kind of tied together, and this is 100% my fault. I kind of encouraged him.
Only this once, my lady. It needed to be done immediately, and I greatly apologize for doing so, but I promise my journey bore results.
Oh my gosh, he found the thing.
Do you not realize how worried you made me?
Aww.
I have barely rested these past 3 nights because of you.
Aw, you care. That's so cute. This is why I say Diana is such a fascinating character. And probably the best written character in this entire franchise. I stared at Diana wide-eyed in shock. Why? We've seen she cares about people. She was concerned about him. Duh, if you're thinking. Saero seemed to be surprised as well, eyes wide and staring at the ground. However, he didn't lift his head, most likely still following a demand previously given to him to keep his head down. Or, you know, she is a queen, and even if she's not royalty, she is still his lady. This could just be a courtly love thing.
My lady, I'm deeply sorry.
Just show her the fricking thing you went to get for her.
Sorry doesn't make this better. What if we were killed? What if I was killed? You are supposed to be by my side at all times.
Down,
you
girl.
broke the vow that you made not only to me, but to my family, that you would stay with me and protect me.
And yet, when you went to the human world to get your... Well, they're not your brothers, but get the brothers... You were A-okay with leaving him behind, even though he knew you were going off to an unknown world to potentially be in danger. How about you take 5 seconds, breathe, and come back to this?
My lady, please!
Ask him what he went to find. Ask the logical question.
Enough! I've heard enough!
No. Diana turned away from Saero, looking to the ground and clenching her eyes shut. More rogue tears ran down her face as she gritted her teeth. Saero finally lifted his face, shocked to see her back instead of her face.
You are dismissed. You are no longer permitted to be in the same room as me until further notice.
Whoa. That's a little harsh, D. You didn't ask him what he went to go find.
My lady.
Don't be a bitch.
I said you are dismissed, Sarah.
Wow. You are throwing a royal temper tantrum right now.
Sayer.
You do not have permission to use my...
What now? All of a sudden, Saero lunged forward and wrapped his arms around Diana's arms and chest. Aw, go get her. Hugging her body to his tightly, and she released a tearful gasp of surprise. Saero buried his face in her shoulders. Diana stared wide-eyed at the wall ahead of her. Finally, yes, go. Big romantic gesture. Get the girl. Diana froze in his arms, and Saero clutched her body to his, locking it against his chest.
Do not send me away from you. I broke my vow, yes, but I did it for a reason.
Go on.
I cannot bear the thought of being separated from you.
Aww.
Not after what I have discovered.
And what have you discovered, good sir? You might have buried the lead here. Diana, ... I stared, feeling my heart clench. It was like watching a romantic drama. Well, yeah, it actually really is. Where the two leads were either going to break up or confess their love for each other. Ah, the best kind. The air was tense and full of both anticipation and fear. Diana remained frozen in Saero's arms as he lifted his head and gently relaxed his embrace around her.
Isair, I've brought you something.
Okay, good. Keep going. Keep it up.
You... What?
Diana finally began to move, slowly turning around in Serio's arms to look up at him in confusion. Serio frowned, seeing her tearful and red face, and gently brought a hand up to her cheek. He gingerly wiped the tears from Diana's eyes with the back of his fingers, before cupping her face. Diana didn't lean in, but she didn't object to it. No.
I've brought you something very important.
Uh-huh.
It may not seem important to this war, but it's important to me.
Aww. Go get her, little angel boy. My heart caught itself in my throat. Did he? Well, with all this build-up, I'm pretty sure he at least found something good. Serio released Diana's cheek before waving his hand between their faces, black and purple mist forming in the air, shifting into something small. As it finally materialized, Diana gasped and silently echoed her reaction. Aww, pretty. In the air floated a beautiful golden rose on a dark green thornless stem. It had mostly blossomed, showing its beautiful petals and glowing softly in between Serio and Diana. It slowly turned in the air, showing Diana all of its magnificence. Aww, that's awesome.
The golden rose. A symbol and proof of my love for you, Isair.
Aww.
I've wanted to retrieve it for you for the longest time, and now I finally have.
Let's see how she reacts to this. Because seriously, I would swoon, not gonna lie.
Saero.
Yes, join me on Team Swoon.
I love you so much. You have given my life so much meaning, and I have sworn my life to protecting you. Isair, you are the most precious and the most beautiful woman to ever grace the five worlds.
I care to argue
Every
this.
day fills me with such joy.
Those crazy kids. Hope this works out for them.
If this is what it takes to prove my love for you, then I will happily give you thousands of golden roses for as long as I have breath. But please, know now that my feelings for you are pure and true.
Aww. Attaboy, Saero. I actually like you in this verse now. I felt like crying as I watched the scene unfold. Diana was stunned, streams of rogue tears once again falling down her cheeks as she stared at Serio. The rose slowly lowered to float between their chests, as if it was patiently waiting for something to happen.
You are my everything. My moon, my stars, my world. Please, Isair, do not send me away from you.
Saero. You idiot.
Yeah, agreed. But he's a sweet idiot. You gotta give him that much. Serio let out a soft chuckle as Diana wiped her eyes with a very, very small smile.
Insult me all you like. I deserve it for leaving your side.
Well...
Now that I've proven my love to you, I must know the truth. Do you love me?
Diana looked up at Serio, as her smile grew ever so slightly. Something about Diana changed as she looked up at him. Her eyes seemed to be lighter and full of joy. My heart melted at the way they looked at each other. Serio watched Diana with curiosity, and Diana gazing at Serio in warm elation. Aww. Now I barge in and sneeze and ruin the moment. Diana lifted her hand to the rose and gently cupped it underneath its petals, making Serio look down and gasp. In Diana's hands, the rose fully bloomed, revealing its innermost gold, almost white petals. Serio looked back up at Diana, seeing her cry joyful tears, and fighting back tears of his own. Again, I wish they would show this scene. I get they do not have the biggest budget for art, but I would like to see this.
I do, Saero. More than you could ever know. I was just...
Yes? Busy? Being a queen, being bossy, watching the brothers. There's a lot of things. Saero gently shushed her, cupping her cheek gently and wiping the tears away with his thumb. For the first time, at least from what I had seen, Diana nuzzled into his hand, closing her eyes. She looked so innocent and pure with Saero now. Aww. And again, you would not have guessed this scene if you only pursued the boys in the first game. Was this the real Diana? Yeah, people are multifaceted beings. I don't doubt that at any point in time that we've seen her, we haven't, air quote, seen the real her. Just different facets of her.
Whatever fear you had, let it go. I swear to never hurt you and to love you until time stands still.
Aww. So learn time magic. I stared, teary-eyed, as Saero gently took the rose from between them and placed it in Diana's hair behind her ear. Diana waited until he finished before reaching up and wrapping her arms around his neck.
I love you too, Saero.
At last, Saero wrapped his arms around Diana's waist and pulled her close as they both leaned in and finally kissed. It was a magical sight to behold. Their love echoed in the kiss, making each other almost glow within the room. I felt my cheeks warm and an uncontrollable blush as I watched. Yeah, I should go. This has nothing to do with me. I'm happy it worked out, but I should go. Leave them alone, keep watching. I'm gonna go. Good on you, kids. I hope you have fun making out with each other. Bye-bye. They needed their privacy. Who knew where that kiss was going to go anyway? A wink. I smiled, joyful for what had happened between them, before I turned on my heel and began to walk towards my room. Yeah, I have my own incubi boy to be worried about. I finally returned to our room and flopped onto the bed, letting the events of my time in the Abyssal Plains replay in my mind. I had been trapped here, and soon enough, I was about to go marching into battle against the Demon Lord for my freedom. Yeah, right, I have that to worry about. The more I thought about it, the more surreal the feeling became. I was going to be in a room, meeting a powerful adversary face to face. I mean, come on, I handled the devils fine last game. And set myself free of the curse he brought down upon me. Also, I might meet my future mother-in-law. What made my head spin was the fact that Mathew had been under the influence of his father and mother's control. Yeah, this should make the reception awkward, and I mean, I thought my parents were bad. It was beyond imaginary, yet it happened. I couldn't believe it. But at the same time, I had not choice but to come to terms with it. I had not choice but to... That just sounds awkward and clunky to say out loud. Ugh. As Mathew entered the room at last, I smiled and stood, walking over and wrapping my arms around him as he returned the embrace. So, sweetie, Saero and Diana, that's the thing that's happening. Yay?
You're the best person in the entire universe. You know that?
Damn straight I am. And you are too, Mathew. Except for, the whole getting possessed thing. We held each other, locked in silence and unable to say anything more. We had been in a heavy predicament, and we escaped. Sure, the Demon Lord may still have some sway over Mathew, but it wasn't enough to control him now. All we could do in the moment was hold each other and listen to our synchronized heartbeats. As the thought of tomorrow danced in my head, I began to fear it even more. Was I ready to go into battle? Well, I mean, I kind of lost today for training, so I'm kind of a little worried about that. Was Mathew? Again, he was in a bubble all day, so also kind of worried about his training. Were any of us, for that matter. What have the wives been up to this whole time? I get they're not pushovers, given who they married, but I am curious what have they been doing this entire train. Anyway, we were about to walk into the final battle of a world war. We'll be fine. I have main character powers. Would we survive? Would I live to see Mathew afterward and feel his embrace again? I'm sure we'll be fine. I have another run-through anyway. Tomorrow brought too many questions to think about, and I became frustrated and scared. We'll be fine. Sleep. Let's have sexy time. 'Cause why not? Because reality is, even though I make the joke of I have main character powers and save states another run, for this character at this point in time, this might be their last moments together. Where they're truly alone together. I needed to hold him and treat the night like it was the last night of the world. Exactly. Tomorrow was unpredictable, but tonight was guaranteed. Exactly. Come on, sexy music. Come back. I guided Mathew back and sat on the bed, looking up at him before slowly easing out of my shirt, locking eyes with him as I slowly began to strip for him. His breath became slightly hitched as he watched, obeying my silent demand to keep his eyes on me. As I finally became bare from the waist up, I pressed my hands onto the bed and slid back, letting my legs up onto the mattress and holding them out for him to do the honors. I tilted my head, letting him get the picture as I dangled my legs out for him. Aw. Mathew let out a shy sigh, before nodding and biting his lower lip and crawling up onto the bed, grasping my clothes and sliding them off of my legs, leaving me completely bare for him. As he tossed my clothes to the side, I settled back onto the bed and held out my arms to him. Come here. Obediently, Mathew followed, kneeling between my legs and pressing his hands to both sides of my body, staring deep into my eyes and making me become lost in his gorgeous blue irises. I slowly danced my arms up over his shoulders and felt his skin slightly heat up beneath my hands and making me slightly smirk up at my loving incubus. Aww. And he didn't even need to go on a quest to get me a gold rose. Oh. Yet. We'll talk about this for the honeymoon. I'm all yours. I want you to take all of me. The carnal desire that flashed in his eyes made my body shudder, even before his enthrallment began to settle into my body and completely encase my core in desire.
I don't deserve you.
No, you really don't, but yeah, in this verse we're literally made for each other. Our words became muffled, lost in the air as he pressed his lips hard against mine, and quickly began to discard his jeans, joining me in the bare exposure of taking in my scent, as I relished feeling his skin against mine. However, what surprised me was him turning me over and wrapping his arms around my waist, hugging me back against his chest. I took the hint to grip onto the bedpost and arched my back for him, impatient. Then, pleasure racked through me, and I became a moaning mess in his arms. Yeah, we do have quite the bed to use here, don't we? The bed rocked hard against the wall as I dug my nails into the wood and took in his love with our love-making. Love, 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 love. My heart sung arias of love. Find another word, as my core screamed songs of ecstasy for the man taking me. This was indeed our last night in the demon world. Well, I mean, we could come back here for our honeymoon, I'm just saying. So we would relish the feeling of magic and lust, melding around us as we soared into euphoria. Even as we angled ourselves to lock lips, our inhibitions became lost in the air. We became rough, rapid, and roared in pleasure that rushed through us, quickly washing through our peaks once, twice, 3 times. We didn't care to count farther, losing our senses within our arms. As our ride eventually had to end, we settled onto the mattress, panting and gasping. The natural musk of our sweat danced in the air as we slowly cuddled together and relaxed into the sheets beneath our bodies. Heck, we're gonna make good use out of this room, gosh darn it. I was dizzy, swimming in oceans of joy and love within Mathew's arms, causing me to nuzzle my head beneath his and kiss over his Adam's apple. I'll always be here, in your arms.
And I'll be here in yours. I promise.
Aww. Little surprised we didn't get art of this. A sense of hope and courage wrapped around us for that night, laced with our undying commitment for each other. We would survive. Maybe. We would be okay. Again, maybe. I felt safe in Mathew's arms, and I'm sure he felt safe in mine. We would return to the human world and be okay. Fingers crossed. Tomorrow would decide everything. Ooh, new music. And it's siege time! And the skip button has returned. Yay! I'm surprised with how much new content we've been given. And siege, and final meeting, and...
If you are indeed attacked, you need to defend your fiancé the entire way there. Do not let him use his energy.
This is Diana telling us our roles in the siege.
No way!
Mathew, sweetie, your daddy. We need to focus on taking him down, not me.
When you get to the castle, I will be fighting one-on-one with the Demon Lord. If something should happen to me, then I need you to take over. She is not ready to fight him, and you need to be at full strength to finish him off.
Oh, come on, I'll be fine. I'm the main character, after all.
When you get to the castle, I will be fighting one...
She's been taught well. Let her prove herself when the time comes.
Exactly. Thank you, Teach. And more plans.
Man, well, I'm nervous. How about you?
I'm good. Yeah, we'll be fine. It's fine. Mathew wrapped an arm around my waist and turned my body to him, hugging me closely.
Hey, everything will be okay, alright?
Yeah, everything will be fine. I listened to him speak before nodding, taking in a deep breath. Everything would be okay. We would be fine. I had to believe in myself and get us to the castle when the time was right. And now we're on our way into the siege. Time for me to show off my sweet move fights. Wow, that was bad. My sweet fighting moves. Hard to believe English is indeed my first language, folks. And skip button. Yay! What is she saying?
She said that we're all fighting for freedom, and that
Woo!
should lead us to it.
Is that it?
Pretty much. Everything else she's saying is just to rile everyone up for battle.
Hey, maybe I want to be a little riled, you know? And skip button's back.
Everything is in order. Sergeant Diana's guard are at the front lines, while Shadow is with his legion to the west.
Cool.
Are we good with our sneak attack plan?
We've done what we can to keep your way clear. We'll try to make sure the battle
Thanks,
won't break
Faye.
through the path.
Onward. So, this is it.
Remember your surroundings and protect each other.
Yes, sir.
Be careful, alright? Make sure you stay safe.
Will do.
Princess, brother, we'll see you in the end.
Aw. I rather thought your wife would be princess, not me.
We have faith in you. You'll make it there, and we'll return to the human world soon.
Fingers crossed.
Kick his dead body a couple times for me, alright? Right in the head.
Will do, Sam. For once we agree on something.
We'll be right here rooting for you and watching your back, okay?
What are the wives doing, Carrie? Explain to me.
We'll win this. We know we can.
Agreed.
You can do this. We'll see you soon, okay?
Yeah. And now we are once more into the breach. The journey was surprisingly fast going through the trees. The sound of the war crashed beside us outside of the tree line. causing me to cover my ears a bit from the volume, but I shook my head and pressed forward, not wanting to become distracted. The goal was to get to the castle. I had to focus. Before I could, however, I skidded to a stop, seeing imps appear from the distance and rush toward us. Okay, sweetie, stay back. I got this. As my incubus came up behind me and spotted the imps, he prepared himself to attack, but I placed my hand on his arms, stopping him. Sweetie, your wife is not a coward and she is not a weakling. I got this. I got this. See? Even the game agrees with me. I walked forward and formed my weapon, letting it shine brightly in the darkness of the forest around us, and temporarily blinding the imps ahead of us. Good! Surprise attack! Stab, 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 stab! My hands formed the kataras, as I trained with, feeling their weight in my hands as the blade glimmered a lavender glow of energy. I swung my hands a bit, recalling the reach and balance of the weapon in my hands as I prepared to attack. The imps, who are blinded by my light only for a moment, looked back at me and stared as they took note of the weapon I had possessed. With a battle cry, I rushed forward, taking advantage of their blank state. Go me! Grrr! That's a pretty pathetic battle cry on my part. I arched my body to the side and jabbed forward, running my blade through the face of an imp before slicing through it and spinning around to slash through the imp beside him, opening up 2 large gashes in his chest through his ribs and lungs. Yeah, enjoy bleeding. The imps fell to the others. The imps fell as the others became shell-shocked at the sight. It must have been a big surprise to see a human cut down 2 of their number, but I was in the mood to let them recover. My body quickly turned in front of another imp as I swung my weapon once again, slicing open his throat. With a bubbly cry, he fell as well as I rushed forward again towards the castle, uncaring. And again, I wish we could see this. The remaining imps began to quake and step back in fear, most likely never expecting to see a human decimate their companions. What more can I say? I'm badass. I wasn't so friendly and merciful, especially in this war, as I lunged forward again and skewered through another imp, hearing the steel of my weapon breaking through his body. My incubus, despite probably being surprised at my carnage, followed as I continued forward, fighting through every imp that came in our way. I had lost count of how many crossed me, but I didn't care. All I cared about was getting to that castle. By the time we reached the end of the forest, there was a slew of dead bodies behind me. Whoa, I've been a little berserker today. I stood at the tree line, panting and feeling waves of adrenaline and lack of energy run through my veins. I panted for air, slowly focusing on calming down as my energy quickly depleted from its adrenaline-fueled high. The weapon in my hand quickly vanished, no longer able to maintain its form without my energy. Yeah, this is the only problem with having a magically summoned weapon. When you run out of mana, you're kinda screwed. That was all I could do before my energy was expanded, and a wave of exhaustion rolled through my body. I began to fall forward, exhausted. My fiancé, however, quickly rushed forward and caught me in his arms.
Whoa! Are you alright?
Not really, sweetie. Just tired. Huh? I looked up to see Mathew staring down at me, fear and concern dancing in his eyes. We were safe for the moment, so I merely smiled up at him with a nod. I'm fine. I promise to protect you, like you protect me. Mathew let out a small laugh before pressing his forehead against mine.
What would I ever do without you?
I don't know. I really don't. At least not in this verse. I mean, other verses you get a new wife, but still. I hugged him back, feeling relief that we had finally arrived at the castle and were about to rush inside. As we slowly pulled away, Mathew lifted me up and helped me to my feet.
Come on. You ready?
Unfortunately, I am not. I need to cut the video here. When we pick up next time, we'll storm the castle and hopefully get to go home. Until next, Tackle Kiddo.